Welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to be doing a stock analysis of Rheinmetall. Now, as you can see, recently it has been quite the bumpy ride to own this stock. Ever since the early of 2025, it absolutely skyrocketed all the way up here to about 2,000 euros, and then ever since that point, it has been quite a lot up and down. Now, we have these technicals here. These is the breakthrough and support levels. Now, recently we just did touch the support level down here, and we've been in an upward trend for a while now, and hopefully we can keep that up. If we can keep this up and we're going to continue all the way up here, the next breakthrough point is just about 1,950 or even 2,000. This question is, are we going to hit this? I do think we're going to hit this again because personally, Rheinmetall is definitely my favorite weapons manufacturer in Europe, and I do think we're going to need this. So I just think people maybe have been taking some of their profits home. So I do think personally it's going to increase quite a lot over 2,000, not in the next year, but in the long run, definitely. Now, if we take a bigger look at the stock, you're going to notice it has absolutely just skyrocketed. Now you can see this blip up right here, as you can see in the RSI as well. This was when the war in Ukraine started, and if you don't know what Rheinmetall produces, they produce artillery shells like this, and of course they are quite needed in a war like the one in Ukraine. Ever since that war, of course, this stock just risen upwards, and ever since then just increasing more and more and more and more. And then here in 2025, it has just absolutely bolted upwards, which is absolutely crazy. Now let me make each candle an hour again. Now, we're going to see here in the RSI, we see quite a lot of overbought up here. Now, if you know what RSI is, that is the relative strength index. This shows which way a stock is headed. So it's above 70, it's overbought, meaning there's a ton of buyers in the market compared to sellers or shorters. If we're between 70 and 50, we're in the upper bracket of the RSI, meaning generally there are more buyers than sellers and shorters in the market. When we're moving normally upwards, we can see right here, the RSI is relatively normal. Then when we're moving upwards rapidly, as you can see right here, then we are in the upper bracket of the, not the upper bracket, then we are in the overbought area of the RSI. When we are moving downwards, which it shows right here, we're going to be in the lower bracket of the RSI, that's between 50 and 30, and that's when there are more sellers or shorters in the market on any given stock. And when we're below 30 down here, then that is when we're oversold, and it's when the stock price is moving downwards rapidly. Now you should note when we're up here or down here in the RSI, either in the oversold or the overbought, it is quite a lot more volatile. So we see not only bigger falls in this one, but also big increases, and the same down here. So always be careful when you buy a stock. Always just take a note: is it in the upper or lower RSI, or where is it? Because that can generally give or lose you some percentages on your earnings. If we look at the beta on the stock, it is at 85, which is great because this means it is less volatile than the average index that lies in. Now we also have some dividends on the stock, which is quite nice to see. The market cap for this stock is 75 billion euros. It is a very, very large company. Now, one of the reasons I personally think that we have seen this tumultuous period for the stock is these earnings. As you can see, down by 22.72, 22.78, 21.27, 22.08, and 19.57. So overall, really just hasn't been the greatest of earnings. And hopefully they're going to increase in Q4 because this is the largest period every single year for Rheinmetall. You can also see that in Q4 of 2024 was also their biggest quarter. So hopefully they can impress here because, to be honest, it has been impressive ever since Q4 in 2024. Now, as you can see down here in the income statement, they are slowly but surely increasing their money, and as you can see, they're making 9.75 billion compared to earlier, where they only made 5.41 in 2020. If we look at the financial statements, we're going to notice that 2018 they made 6.15 billion, and in 2024 they made 9.75 billion. Overall, they're really increasing. We only have one negative year where they dropped in revenue, and that was in 2020, of course, because of COVID. If you look at revenue and how they make their money, we can see that the largest are in vehicle systems, weapon ammunition, and power systems. So these are by far the one of the largest. And if we look where they make their money, that's of course Europe and Germany. So if you take all the rest of us out, if you only focus on Europe, they're making almost 8 billion in Europe alone. So of course, we also have something like Asia and the Near East, North, Middle, and South America, and other regions as well. But in Europe, they are by far the most dominant company. If we look at the overview of the company, we can see here the market cap, as I said, was 75 billion euros. They have $2.4 billion of debt, which is quite small compared to how large they are and how much money they're making currently. And they also have $557 million in euros, of course, on cash. Now you're going to notice it is a huge company with quite a lot of employees, but then again, it is an industrial company. Now, something you should notice, of course, the PE and price to sales. So before the war broke out, they had earnings of 12.35 and a PS of 0.64 compared to right now. As you can see, it's quite a lot higher, of course, because the stock price has risen so much, but of course their earnings has risen with it, so of course that is always great to see. Now if we scroll down here and look at the performance of the stock in the past 15 years, not 15 years, 10 years, some years aren't that great. If you look at the average, it's only at 6.44, which is quite poor. But overall, it has been quite a nice stock to own, and it is my personal favorite in the European Union to own. If there should be a weapon stock a person should own, my best guess would be Rheinmetall. Now, I don't own any currently, but that is because my investment profile doesn't really invest in weapons. Now, the technicals for this stock, for the day it's a sell, for the week it's a neutral, and for the month it is a buy, showing that most likely we are having a upwards tendency. We can also see that here in the RSI we are moving upwards a bit, and hopefully soon we will have a golden cross again. We did see a death cross right here on the 17th of November, that is this white line right here. But if this green line can cross above the yellow line, we're going to see a golden cross, and hopefully that's going to set some algorithmic trading, and then we're going to see some upward swing signals, because golden cross is one of the best things to happen for a stock. Now the analyst rating for this are quite crazy. We have 15 strong buy, 3 buy, and 4 hold. Overall, it is a strong buy, and we have some that says this stock should be up 55% within the next year. I think that's a bit too crazy compared to how much already has risen since 2024. It's just absolutely bonkers. Now, personally, it wouldn't surprise me if it hit 2,000 within 1 year. That would be about 20 to 25% up. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Now, if we look at their annual EPS, as you can see in the future as well, they're simply guiding up more and more and more and more, which is going to be absolutely great to see. We also can watch down here the revenue as well increasing more and more and more. This year they're going to make 12 billion estimates, and in 2028, 28.5 billion. Gonna be absolutely crazy, and it's going to be interesting to see how do they plan on making this money. Is it just going to be on continuing to make cannons for tanks and just this ammunition, or are they going to expand, of course, how they make their money? So in my opinion, this is a great stock to own. I think it is going to increase in the long run. It might be a bit tumultuous currently, but overall in the long run, I see this as a huge winner. Now, if you did like this video, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And of course, if you want to see more videos like this, please don't forget to leave the company to analyze in the comment section below.